Hey, this is Knife Standards. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Grimsmo Rask. This is one of my favorite knives and definitely is a permanent part of my collection. You know, I have a lot of knives come and go, and I'll have a knife for a day or a week or a month, and then I sell it or I trade it or whatever else happens, and then I move on. Because I always have to, I get some knives in for review, and I buy and sell a lot of knives. It's kind of part of my job as a collector to keep trying new knives and kind of keep it moving. As Lefty EDC would say, it's the circle of knife, which I think describes it really well. But this knife is not going anywhere. I think this is definitely a staple in my collection, and there's a few reasons for that. Number one is it's so damn good. So I'm going to go over the things, some kind of general info about it, and then some things I really love about it, and then if there's anything I don't like, I will let you guys know. I haven't had a chance to carry this as much as I would like to, but if I ever have an opening in my rotation, or I have a day when I kind of want to go a little bit fancier, I definitely reach for the Rask. So Grimsmo, I think it's I'm pretty sure it's two brothers that are out of Canada, and they're making these, if not 100%, 98% in their own shop. Maybe they don't make, I want to say the bearings, maybe, but I'd have to double check on that. Anyway, they do an incredible job machining these knives. They currently have two knives that they make. They have the Norseman and they have the Rask. The Norseman is kind of cool, kind of intriguing, but I think it's been out for so long that I don't know, I'm personally just a little bit tired of seeing it over and over and over. And of course I get the blade shape is not for everyone. I think it's a cool knife though. I've never, have I handled one? I feel like I have handled one. I handled one somewhere, but I forget where. Anyway, but I've never owned one. But I was on the hunt for a Rask, and the two kind of configurations that I wanted, or the two things I wanted as far as the variations go, were kind of a plain Jane model, and then I also was interested in either this type of milling, this really simple kind of just pinstripe milling, or the dragon scale. And now they're actually coming out with a couple cool new milling patterns. I saw one of them that looked, I think it's almost like maybe like a diamond pattern, I don't know. And then this popped up online. You know, they do if you sign up, they do they're kind of hard to get, but they do pop up on a secondary, and if you get them from the Grimsmo website, they do these like lottery-ish like website password picks where they send you, if your name gets picked, they send you a password, and you and however many other people, and then it's kind of first come first serve for those people. So anyway, I saw this one pop up and I thought, yep, that's it, let's do it. Titanium frame lock. Again, these are going for 800 plus, so let's say 800 to 1,000 ish. 800 plus, definitely not cheap, but even though this is a production knife, I consider it on the spectrum of like more custom than production, because it's like a, you know, kind of boutique production. I would consider, the same thing with Koenig, same thing with, where's my Roosevelt? I don't know where my Roosevelt is, but same thing with Oz Machine Company, these kind of small in-house makers where they're doing everything or almost everything in-house, and it has that custom feel, but they're doing it as a production knife. You guys get what I mean. I know some people are really, particular about their definitions, but I would consider this on the custom side of production. And man, is it good. I love the plain Jane. I love the color scheme. I love the pinstripe milling. The blade has this really light, almost like a mirrored stone wash, even though it's not really mirrored, kind of that hazy stone wash, but it doesn't really leave fingerprints or marks or dings because it's already a little bit dinged up, which is cool. The action is really where this knife shines. Crazy. It's one of the best actions that I've ever felt on a knife, and I'm usually not a fan of flipper onlys. The two best flippers that I've handled off the top of my head, anything from Holt, basically, and this guy. So what makes a good flipper? Well, you don't want the flipper tab to, oh, and you know what, to be fair, my Sharp by Design, that flipper is excellent, really, really good. It's the Mini Evo Typhoon, I think. Super good. So what makes a good flipper? Well, you don't want to be able to fail the knife. You want a strong detent. You want it to deploy reliably every time, which this has, that kind of crisp break. Oh, I almost forgot. My other favorite flipper is also from Canada, the North Arm Skaha 2. That is phenomenal. Really good flipper. But this action, when I first got this knife, the action was a little bit scary, actually. It was like, I mean, there's videos of it if you scroll back far enough, but it was like, it teleported. I mean, whoom, closed, like super, like dangerously fast. And the more I have carried this knife and flipped it and used it and kind of fidgeted with it, the action has slowed down a little bit, which I actually really like. So now you can see it's this kind of controlled, I mean, it's still pretty fast, but for me, it's more controlled. You can make it go a little bit slower, whereas before you could not. Like, that's pretty cool. You know, just by manipulating the knife and tilting it, it feels more like slow motion. Like, I know it looks fast on camera, but before it was really, really fast. So the action feels more controlled, not so, you know, sometimes before it would even like double tap, like, and clang on the scales. It dropped so fast. Haven't had that happen in a while. It's just so smooth. It feels like it's not running on anything, like bearings or it just feels like glass, like super buttery, almost like it's not attached to the scales. And you would think there would be play, zero play. It's rock solid. So another thing I really like about this knife is the design. It's just super sleek and smooth. Yeah, the flipper tab sticks out. We'll get to that. But the design is really sleek and smooth. The blade is enclosed in the handle. There's a milled titanium pocket clip, not reversible, but the screw is on the inside. If we take a look on the inside of the knife, you can see some internal milling. Yeah. So it's really not that heavy. I would consider this a medium-sized knife, but we're getting close to the large size. Let's go ahead and bust out a Sebenza. So you guys can see this is a large Sebenza. So actually very similar size to the large Sebenza. So for some people, I think this would be a large knife. For me, it's like medium, almost to large. Get the Sebenza out of the way. And another cool thing is it comes in really nice hard case. It comes with a disassembly tool, like little Torx. We got a T9, interesting. Yeah, I haven't disassembled this, obviously. T9, which is an interesting choice. And then, of course, the nano oil. It's just a nice, is there anything under there? No. Anything under here? Yes. Aha. It's just a really nice presentation. And they have the cutout, so it fits perfectly. So I think that's definitely an additional kind of positive thing, you know, a little bit, makes it a little bit fancier. Is everyone going to pay, you know, $900 for this knife? No, definitely not. Is it worth it? Yeah, I think so. I think 800, 900, definitely. When it gets past 1,000, for me, that's kind of the cutoff point for a production knife. I feel like those high 800s, 900, low 900s is where it kind of tops out for now. Ergo's really good. It does feel thin in hand. I almost miss, like, there should be a little bit of jimping here, but there's not, and I don't mind that. I don't miss it that much. The flipper tab doesn't stick out too much when it's deployed, which is cool. You have a really nice kind of drop, I'll call it a drop point blade. It almost looks like a little recurve, but it's not. And again, action is so good. Really nice. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about a few things that I feel like, I don't know if they bother me necessarily, but I can see how they would be negatives. Number one, the price. It's not a cheap knife. Number two, the clip is not reversible, so it's right hand carry only. 3, the flipper tab does stick out. This is a little bit pointy. It works really well. There is a little bit of jimping on there, so it works perfectly as a flipper tab, but I mean, without the flipper tab, I think that takes it up another notch. I mean, thumb studs, no flipper tab, front flipper, man. But I know that would be changing the design. It kind of defeats the purpose. The flipper is good, don't get me wrong. But I feel like some people are not going to be into this because when it's in your pocket, you can feel it a little bit pocket pecker-ish, you know. Another thing is, and actually this might be the last thing, is the blade steel's RWL34, which is, it's a fine blade steel. It's an awesome blade steel. Like I personally, I don't have any complaints with it. I'm no longer a steel snob. For me, the most exciting steels are going to be the Vanex, the MagnaCut, the 15V, these new steels or these exciting steels with maybe that I haven't handled or that I've heard about. And to me, those are what excites me as far as what I'm going to make my knives in, or what I'm going to have my knives produced in, or what, if I get a new knife, I definitely keep an eye on that, something that's going to be exciting. But it's not to say this isn't exciting. They have dialed in their process, their cryo, their heat treat for our WL34. So it is what it is. I know some people might complain because the price tag is higher on this, so they want maybe a more premium steel. I think that could they change the steel if they want to? Yeah, definitely. I think it's, I don't know. You look at Oz Machine Company, and they were doing Zephonit for a while, and then MagnaCut came out. They switched to MagnaCut. They wanted to raise the heat treat to a higher HRC. They did that. I mean, it feels like they made that transition super fast. So I feel like Grimsmo could also do that super fast. I think it would be more interesting, instead of different finishes, which the finishes are great, instead of the dragon scale and the milling and this and that, and different anodes, which look awesome, do different blade steels. I think that'd be super cool and fun, and really kind of invigorate and revive people being really, crazy about Grimsmo. Not to say they aren't right now, but it's definitely not as hot as Oz Machine Company, let's say, because Oz is coming out with some crazy stuff. Same thing with Koenig. They're coming out with new variations and new materials. And so anyway, new blade steels. So I think Oz is really pushing the boundaries. So I'd love to see that from Grimsmo. But having said that, I think overall it is an excellent knife. Flipper only, one of the best I've ever handled, if not the best. detent is perfect. You cannot fail this detent. Oh, I failed it. But it kind of tapped my finger twice. Yeah, no, you really can't fail it. When I hit that one, instant replay. It kind of hit and then hit again. Let's see if I can fail again. Nah, can't do it. Anyway, this has been my kind of overview / full review of the Grimsmo Rask. Really awesome knife. And it kind of just keeps getting better and better. The more I carry it, the more I play around with this. So if you have a chance to handle one of these or get one, I would definitely recommend it. Next up for reviews, we got the Koenig Mini Arius coming soon. Also a fantastic kind of in-house custom-ish production. Flipper works really well on this guy, although a lot of people have already taken the flipper off. Anyway, this has been Knife Standards. I will catch you guys later.